C-sharp squad with the marketing schemes, making brands pop like soda and dreams. For StoryBrand certified, the real hot shot. Now we step back, call the status forgot. We said bye to the badge, no guilt, no rage. Still cooking up fire, agency stage. Guides of the game, yeah, still in the loop. Relinquish that badge, but we ain't jump ship, nope.
Hey, I saw your head
Hello,
bouncing. Saw your head bouncing in the green room.
Yeah, man. I love this tune, man.
That's a C-sharp tune.
I'm probably gonna make that my alarm tune for the morning.
We should create an AI video based on this tune where we both dance to the music.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. What's been happening? You said you're renovating at home again?
Yeah, man. It's never ending. Yeah, we've got another bunch of trades coming through, working on stuff, and
Yeah.
I've created a little 90-day plan for phase 1 to be finished.
Nice.
So yeah, hopefully that's going to be on track.
What's the priority? Home office or?
Home office is already done. Now we're redoing some of the rooms, turning one into a home gym. So
Nice.
Goodbye gym membership, and because I'm seeking maximum efficiency of my day. So like even I need to drive 15 minutes to the gym, work out, and then 15 minutes home is still not very effective. So, and I like to work out anyway, I like to work out first thing in the morning, but like if I wanted to get to the gym by 5:30, I need to get up at like 4:45 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's just not super practical.
So yeah.
The dream is wake up, go downstairs, lift some weights, and then get on with my day.
Yeah. But the account, it's just if you have the self-drive, then that's great. I have a gym right next door, and I usually tell Amy at night, I say like, I'm keen to go to the gym tomorrow, but I already feel exhausted.
Yeah.
Because you get up so early, then you train, and then you're like, my goodness.
Yeah. What I've found actually, like training first thing in the morning is actually not super ideal. Like you don't get maximum output. So like what I've found is after I drop the kids to school, by about 8 o'clock, and then I get to the gym at about 8:15ish. That's a better window than 5 a.m. in the morning because you'll be able to do more and lift more and be a little bit more energized.
Yeah.
Or I do it late afternoon before school pickup, which is what I'm going to do today.
Yeah. I'm not after maximum efficiency. I'm just more than happy with the 80%.
Yeah.
It's just flexibility is what I need.
No, but like you get to a certain age, like obviously we're probably half a decade apart or something, 8 years apart. You get the sense like if I work out at 5 a.m. in the morning, I'm at 60% maximum.
Yeah.
So I'm not even at 80%. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
But like when does the whole biohacking and like maximum efficiency and stuff? When does it stop? Like how many ice baths and recovery sessions do you have to do to hit the peak maximum?
It's never ending, and you really got to listen to your body as well, because like when I was probably your age and younger, I would be doing heavy weights and and you're sore every day.
Yeah,
and it's just not a good life. You're sore, you're grumpy, you're hungry.
hungry.
And then, but now I'm doing lots and lots of dynamic stretches and lightweight exercises. That's more sustainable for me at this age.
Yeah.
Because I feel motivated to actually do it every day. Whereas before, like, oh man, I'm so sore. Do I really want to do it again?
Yeah. So how long do you need to pay off the gym based on your gym membership? When does it pay for itself?
That is the $1 million question. So my gym is actually a really good deal. So I actually thought about it the other day. I pay $50 a fortnight, which is like $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
And the fit out, like to build a home gym is probably going to cost me $4 or $5 grand. Or maybe less, but it's not a super economical choice, to be honest.
Take a few years,
Yeah, it's not a super economical choice, but it is for for a better lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I told you, but we recently bought a coffee machine because we figured out we spend way too much per year on coffee.
Wow.
And I think I calculated if we are at maximum consumption, within 12 weeks, the coffee machine pays for itself.
100%.
And it's a good, like Breville, homebrew stuff.
So compared to we're going to jump into marketing. For those of you who are watching, we're just going to finish this small talk, right? So compared to my gym intention for the home gym, my coffee consumption is definitely very economical. Because I use obviously I use a AeroPress, which is like $80 or something, which I've been using for years without fail. And the only thing that you need to replace is that little rubber piston, that is going to break one day, but that's like $10. That's $10 to replace.
Yeah, you have a paper filter, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, I've got a whole bunch of filter. Filter is like $20 for 100 or something. Right? Yeah. And then coffee beans. Coffee beans are like $25 now, maybe sometimes $30 for 250 gram, which is going to last me for 2.5, if not 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Compare that to $6 a pop in a fancy cafe. Like I actually force myself to not buy coffee at cafes now, unless I feel really, really special about my day. Yeah.
So, do you think it is weird to go to a cafe just to sit there with a friend and not order anything? Like that's usually my dilemma. I don't really want to buy something, but I catch up with friends in a cafe.
It is weird. I've tried to embrace it as long as my friend is buying something. But yesterday, actually interesting. Yesterday I had two back-to-back meetings in a cafe. And I actually thought about it. So I had to order a drink for my first meeting. But while I was waiting for the second meeting to come, so I had that gap, and then I was debating in my mind, oh, should I order something else? And then the waitress, they're not trying to be rude or anything, but they come back and ask you, right? Because
it's their job to hover.
Yeah. And then so I actually intentionally said no, so I only had one drink, and then the second meeting came, and I resisted the temptation of ordering another one.
The beauty of consumerism.
Yeah, man. Well, it's not beauty. It's actually society's trap people into poverty.
And telling people they need something that they don't need, which a lot of people blame us for. That's the propaganda we.
Exactly. We're part of the problem, Ori. We're not helping the world.
And we promote some pretty cool things. So we also solve the problems that we cause.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Anyways, today we want to talk about what makes a perfect marketing team. So obviously in our line of work, we come across with businesses of all sizes, from your sort of one-man band startup to your multinationals and listed companies and all that sort of stuff. And it's very interesting dynamics of how people structure their marketing team, or sometimes marketing support. When I say marketing team, we're not talking about the corporate where you have 10 people in the marketing department doing bits and pieces. But, if you have been in business for more than 5 minutes, you would already be employing someone maybe overseas to do your SEO, someone to build your website, someone to do your social media. It could be a cousin, or you could be doing it yourself. And then someone doing your paid ads, so on and so forth. So you have all these little departments that we need specialized skills for. And clearly these things can't be covered by just one person. Even a marketing professional will not be able to cover all grounds. So think of it like, obviously I'm doing this Reno thing at the moment, and you just can't you can't just give it to one person, like a carpenter, to build out the whole thing with precision and quality, right? So everyone has their own skills and own take on marketing. And it is really important for us to understand what are some of the hiring decisions that we need to make. When I say hiring, is not necessarily just hiring staff, but even if you go on Upwork and look for the next, super staff or IT stuff, like you need to understand what are the personnels that you need. in a marketing team or a squad to work on your marketing in order for you to get the maximum output. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, awesome.
What's your take on
it? There's this running joke in marketing that everyone is looking for the unicorn, and the the reason that doesn't exist is because what you said, there are multiple different skills that come into a marketing department, and marketing is just a very, very big area. Like you have all the way from SEO to social to websites to PR to communications networks and all that stuff. You have creative skills, analytical skills, technical skills, management skills. If one person does all of that, they are forced to do a bad job because it's just so vast and so dispersed.
Yeah.
And so, but knowing who you should hire or what role you should hire for in what order can be really helpful, especially as you start building your own department.
Yeah, so I've got a couple follow-ups on that, right? Now, obviously, we're having a conversation about hiring human beings to perform different things and making the right hiring decisions. But obviously, we can't talk about hiring human beings without talking about the effects of AI these days, because AI is perceived to be that unicorn where they can just perform everything with perfection, right? Which is partly true, especially with AI agents coming out and whatnot, right? But you still need to understand how the game is played in order to give the right instructions to AI to work on the right things. Because you can go, okay, AI, I want you to optimize my website. Okay, what optimization do you need, right? To work, and the AI, like if you ask the AI to do a lot of thinking work for you, like outsourcing your thinking, you're not going to get a great result, right? So if you are able to identify that, okay, right now my website needs paid traffic and organic traffic running at the same time, right? Then your choice is, okay, well, if I need organic traffic, I would probably go for someone who's really good with social media to create a lot of eyeball creatives and all that sort of stuff to drive traffic to my landing page on my website. Or we go old school SEO. Those would be the two main organic traffic source at the moment from an online world. Well, at least you know how the game is played. Then you can go to the AI and say, create 10 amazing social media posts to promote XYZ product for the purpose of driving organic traffic, not paid traffic, to my website. Yeah? So, we just need to really understand how that works.
Yeah, and you just always have to know the objective. And if you, like, especially if AI doesn't know your business, doesn't know your objectives, then, they're just going to invent something and you think it's perfectly suited for you, but it might actually not be, the best move.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the other thing that I wanted to also say is chances are those of you who are watching, you would be in the small business world. Now, 98% of our entire economy is made up of small business. When I say small business, is anyone who's doing less than $20 million in revenue, which is a lot of us, right? So chances are you're part of a small business. Now, in the context of a small business, even if you get to the 7 figures and the 8 figures, chances are you would only have one, if not two, marketing coordinators or marketing doers in your team. And usually, and obviously we've consulted hundreds of companies to come to these conclusions. Usually the marketing coordinator is more of a glorified project manager with a level of understanding, good understanding of how marketing works. Then his or her job is to deploy the resources that they have been given, namely a advertising budget or a budget for a new website and so on and so forth. And most of the time they don't have the skill sets to deliver whatever that needs to be delivered in a professional way, right? So even if you have already got people in your marketing department in-house, chances are they are a bit of a generalist. So again, you need to help the person to make the right choice, to select the right agency, give them the right brief, and control the budgets and the timeline accordingly, right? On the other side of the coin, you would have companies who would hire specialists in their in-house, namely, a IT specialist or a website designer who is really, really good at performing certain things, or you would have a social media manager in-house. The person walking around with the phones and come up with all these, fancy things to tell the story, quote unquote, of your business, and that's the entirety of your marketing in-house, right? Again, that's only a tip of an iceberg and only one small piece of the puzzle in completing the entire marketing program for your business. So you just got to really understand what's the internal resource and what are some of the external stuff that you want to bring in.
Yeah. So I have a question then. As if business owners are listening to this, they obviously have to make some decisions on who to hire, what projects to do, etc. What skill do they need to have in order to make the right decision? Let's say they have access to whoever they want through, they can hire whoever they want, but what do they need to know first before they actually do that?
Well, first of all, they need to have a strategy. Now, the strategy is different to tactics, and you would know this, Ori, because we're literally, having conversations with our clients every single day. When we're trying to talk marketing, most people are stuck at the tactics, right? When I say tactics, is what platform should I use? What ads should I run? How much should I budget for ads? And should I go WordPress or Webflow or Shopify? Like, these are just all tactical stuff, which are very, very extremely important. But you can't land on those decisions without a strategy. A strategy is basically a direction in terms of where we're going, right? So if you're traveling without a map, the strategy is we're going north, and that is basically the strategy, right? So then we're going to work out what the tools to make, which road to go, and all these micro tactical decisions for the purpose of going north, right? So you in marketing, you need to work out what the North Star is, right? Let's say the objective is we need to increase our bottom line by 10% or our acquisition cost by X%, and so on and so forth. That is the objective. How do we create a strategy around that, right? Based on, obviously, our 4 pillars would be branding, lead flow, sales, and retention, right? So then we decide a strategic direction, and then we start making tactical decisions around platform and the know-how, how to go about it, running ads or so on and so forth. So you need to have a strategy first.
Well, it's very easy to be biased to choose or recommend whatever your expertise is, because you believe that's the best way. Which makes me think the whole affiliate ecosystem and commission and kickbacks and all that stuff is somewhat flawed, because it is always in the interest of the provider rather than the client.
100%. Yeah. Anyway, well, if I was to throw you that question, Ori, what do you think would make up the perfect marketing squad?
So I think unless the business owner or whoever is hiring these people wants to do it themselves, they need some form of manager, someone that is really good in operations, to make sure that all the ducks are in a row and can keep whoever's doing the technical work accountable to what needs to be done. Because it's so easy if you hire just a technical person. Let's say you hire a graphic designer to do all your social posts and your website design, etc. They're just going to be in the zone, and they're just going to create some beautiful stuff. But if you don't know what creative they need to create to meet business objectives, then they're just going to run wide, because creative people love being creative, but they need direction, and it's not their fault. It's just how they're wired, and that's where they flourish the most. So if you don't want to do it yourself, you need to hire I would say some form of operations manager or project manager.
So if we were to try and chart this out, I would probably have 4 roles in my mind that would make up the perfect marketing team. All right. Now let's just assume that you, the business owner, is not the marketing manager, right? So I would probably say there are 4 essential roles, and those roles can be expanded to different personnels as well based on your tactics. But I would go top of the hierarchy would be a marketing manager, right? You can call the person a marketing manager, a CMO, a marketing coordinator, a business development manager, whatever, right? Basically, this person is responsible to monitor the KPIs and the objectives of all of the campaigns that are being run. Monitor will be one of the job description, but the other the first, I'll probably say this is the second job description. The first job description would be to establish and project manage multiple source of lead gen activities, right? So in an ideal world, you want to have a number of lead gen activities running concurrently. So it could be, so we call it 10 pillars, right? So let's say your digital marketing is one pillar, right? So website traffic, coming into a funnel, and then obviously you've got to monitor the KPI around that. That's only one of the many tactics that, or one of the many marketing pillars that you should put in place, right? Then you need to think about, okay, are there offline, let's say, networking opportunities that I should go to, right? Now, the marketing manager's role is to try and make this as less ad hoc as possible and less as structured as possible. Let's say, for example, you one of the things that is going to move the needle for your business would be, okay, as long as we go to as many networking
Events.
events to speak, right, as possible, and that is going to move the needle for our business. In fact, we're going to consult a sales coach in the coming weeks. That will be the number one thing for him, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the marketing manager has identified that, hey, we need to book at least one speaking gig a month to go and speak at various events with a call to action at the end, a QR code or sign up and so on and so forth to opt into our funnel, right?
Yeah.
That would be that will be marketing pillar number 2 outside of the digital marketing side of things, right? So so the marketing manager's role is to be able to flesh out all of these marketing activities that they could be running concurrently and work on them, establish, build, project manage, outsource them one by one, and have them running concurrently.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be job description number 1. Then job description number 2 is to monitor the performance or the key KPIs of each funnel. Right now, that's where the skill comes in for a marketing manager, because it's very easy for us to monitor 26 things at the same time, right? Skill of the marketing manager needs to be, okay, I only need to look at these 3 numbers or these 2 numbers per pillar that I'm putting in place, right? And then I can then have a high level helicopter view of the overall performance of my marketing program, then report back to the boss or the CEO or the CFOs to get more funding, all that sort of stuff, right? That is the professional way of doing that, right? So you would have a marketing manager that sits on top. And the number one priority is for him or her to establish multiple source of marketing pillars running in unison or concurrently, or definitely in seasons, and to effectively monitor the performance of those to come up with the right metrics or simple metrics to indicate how the marketing is tracking.
Yeah.
If we're trying to find a unicorn, that will be the unicorn that you want to go and find.
Because I think it is much easier to find someone that can execute a tactic than someone that can understand or is deep in your business, understanding what levers you need to pull.
Yeah.
And then actually monitor and manage.
Absolutely. And that's what separates a professional and a specialist, right? Like, it's very tempting, and we have certainly done that before ourselves as well, for a business owner to go out there to go, This guy, he's really good. Apparently, he's really good with social media, and he's got all this video gear, and
Yeah.
he's a bit of an influencer himself. So he must be really good with this thing called this marketing thing, right? Well, they may be good at one particular tactic, right? But do they actually qualify as a marketing manager, right? Or are they just a glorified video producer? Right, so these are
Yeah.
the discernments that you need to make when it comes to hiring, because the marketing manager is responsible for the performance of your marketing, and marketing should drive sales. So if sales don't go up or lead flow doesn't increase at least, then you're probably not hiring the right person.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think if you have that person, so many other questions are automatically being answered.
Yeah,
Like if
absolutely.
imagine you had a graphic designer, a web developer, and some SEO person in in your team, but you don't
Yeah,
have this person,
yeah.
then you're probably running in circles.
Exactly right. Yeah, because you'll just be bombarded with things that don't really matter and reports that don't really matter, and stuck in the day to day. They like you'll be thinking, the marketing manager will be bombarding you with, hey, what are we posting tomorrow, and what are we doing on Friday, and like that's just not the level of conversation that you should be having as
Yeah.
a business owner or a CEO in regards to marketing. Right now, underneath the marketing manager, there should be three people um, that three roles to fill, right? I would just probably call them. The first one would be a visual person. The second one would be a technical person. And then the third one should the visual person, the technical person, and then the third one should be a traffic generator, right? Now I'm being really generic at the moment, right? Because different, like, it all depends on the context of the business, right? But the visual person is purely a creative. Now we don't want to go and hire like pure artists. Like, these artists needs to have a commercial edge or a commercial background, or understand how advertising works, instead of just coming with all this fluffy eye candy, mimicking your Apples and Nikes of the world, right? But the visual person could be a graphic designer, it could be a video editor, and these days it will be a mixed bag of a bit of everything,
Yeah.
because of how integrated these tools are, and with AI coming as well. Now you can make the argument that AI is going to replace a lot of the creative work, which is true, but you still need a curator, right? Not a creator, but a person to curate all these creative assets into something that is useful for your business. So instead of hiring maybe like a specialized videographer with 4K cameras and everything, you probably need a visual design person. Now, but you also need to make sure that this person is experienced in the commercial world. So it's very tempting for people to go in like graphic design schools and try to pull students out of those schools and go, hey, do you want to do an intern? They are going to come up with some pretty amazing graphics, but is it actually going to be useful for your business? I have a lot of doubts around that, right? So you still need a visual professional, like a visual communicator, right? Then you go to the technical person. Obviously, the technical person is responsible to make sure all the buttons work from a digital perspective, right? So we're talking websites. Now, this technical person, it doesn't have to be a geeky coder, but he or she will need to be responsible a lot of the integration, especially in the digital world. When you're doing your CRMs, and your email marketing, your integration, all the technical boxes that need to be ticked, you would need a technical person who know. I would probably call this person a little bit of a webmaster, to be able to fill in all the gaps. Now, again, the temptation is to combine the visual person and the technical person, and let me tell you, you will not find a human being who will tick both boxes, right? And we have vetted so many marketers under the sun over the years, right? You can easily tell that someone is weighted more towards the creative side, or they prefer doing the creative side, even though if they've got the technical skills, right, they would default to the visual side or the creative side and compromise the technical side, or this other side of the coin that someone loves doing the technical work, even though they've got the skills on Photoshop and whatnot, but they're always thinking technical, right? So yeah, you got to really make that distinction. What do you think?
Well, I think if you put a technical person into a very creative role, they're just not going to stick around for long, because it drains them. While they can do it, it drains them, and so you're not going to have a good team morale.
So it's less about skill set, is more about people's habits. Because, as I said, a technical person could have perfect skills on Photoshop, right? But when they're trying to problem solve, they always think of solving problems with technical, right? And sometimes it defeats the purpose, right? So in the perfect world, you want to have a distinction between your technical person and your creative person.
Yeah.
And then finally, you want to have a traffic generator. Now, the marketing manager is mostly responsible for on the conversion side of your marketing, right? So his or her job is to optimize the conversions of the multiple sources of marketing activities that they're doing. Now, in an ideal world, you want to have a person who's responsible to generate the traffic. Now, I'm not talking about just online, offline as well, right? His or her job, the traffic generator, is to get as many eyeballs as possible through whatever means to the marketing funnels that we set out, right? So it could be buying ads, it could be doing social media, it could be making phone calls, it could be sending cold emails. But the KPI, the number one KPI for their job is to generate the traffic and report on the traffic source into whatever marketing funnels that we're putting out.
Yeah. Remember, you said multiple times, good marketing is just traffic and conversions.
Absolutely. Yep. But the person is sitting under the marketing manager, right? Because and then their number one job is just to tell me, if I gave, I pay you this salary, and if I gave you X amount of dollars on a monthly basis, how much traffic are you generating into which funnel, right? And look, that to me, those 4 roles would be your dream team to put together the perfect marketing team. Obviously, when you get bigger, you would have multiple roles under each of these departments, right? But if you're able to fill these 4 gaps through whatever means, it could be an internal hire, it could be external help, it could be part-time or casual, it could be VAs and overseas support, right? But you need to diversify your marketing effort into different specialties instead of trying to rely on one person. I know the idea of having one person sounds more convenient and economical, right? But this is what it takes for you to build meaningful marketing that is going to move the needle for your business.
Would you say that in terms of work management and having tools and workflows to actually enable to deliver all this work, because you need a system to deliver that work, should that be the marketing manager responsible for that, or you just have someone in your company that is the technical integrations person?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. Again, it depends on the resources that you have in-house. Like sometimes you would have an operations manager or general manager or a second in charge, right? Then, this is the difference between a strategy and tactics, right? This is the exact thing that people get caught up with. Like, all I've talked about in the last half an hour or so is all strategy. And then the next question always is the how to, right? Which is perfectly logical, right? But again, you just need to look at the resources around you. So if those of you who are bigger size business, you've got an ops manager or you've got a general manager and whatnot, right? Well, then in an executive level or from a management point of view, you want to have the right tools and the right dashboards and everything to set these people up for success. Or I strongly believe that it's actually worth the investment to go to an external party. Shameless plug. Obviously, we're a fractional CMO firm, and our job is to set up structures like this for companies. But even if it's not us, you go to let's say a CRM specialist. If your business is heavily software driven, go to a CRM specialist and go, hey, I'm with HubSpot. This is our structure. Now you put the engine together for us and train our team to perform this, right? Or even So I would probably say seeking external help to as long as you've got the blueprint in place would be a really good move.
So for those that are thinking that this looks very expensive to have 4 roles, on the books, a downgraded version, or not downgraded, but a less expensive version of that, I think could be this year, where you have a part-time or outsourced marketing manager.
csharpgroup.com.au is the website that you want to visit.
And then you have an AI operator / VA. As long as whoever does this here, and this can obviously be outsourced, or you can do whatever you want. As long as this person creates great briefs, if you find a person that is really good with all the AI tools, and they just have a sense for what is good quality and bad quality, so they have some training on internal BS detectors, like we like to call them, then you can get away with this to a certain extent.
Absolutely. AI, I would probably say the role underneath the marketing manager could be done through a part-time VA. Now, the VA needs to have good sense. It's all about the human touch, right? Which honestly can't be immediately trained. It can be trained over time, but it can't be immediately trained, right? Someone either has it or doesn't have it, right? So don't try and go, okay, I'm just going to get someone entry level and then going to train them over time. You're wasting your time, right? Get someone, pay a little bit more. Look, if we're talking about a VA, like you're paying 10, like it's the difference between $10 an hour and $12 an hour, right? So you want to make a judgment call on that. Hire them part-time. I would still ideally want to have at least a visual person and a technical person, right? As 2 people, right? And then their job is you obviously in the briefing stage needs to be extremely clear on each campaign, but you specify that we want you to operate AI and make judgment calls and fix up. So I don't want you to spend 5 hours on Photoshop to come up with the perfect graphic for our next ad. Go to AI, come up with 10 options. We sit together, we pick 5, and then you go and spend half an hour on Photoshop to fix it up, right? Same goes to the technical person. Now, the traffic generator, you can get away with just hiring an agency to go, here's a budget, just give me traffic, right? So you can get away with doing that.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, if you have no paid campaigns that you're running, maybe you can do without them for a while. So that's what makes sense to hire agencies when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you work on the conversion side of things, and then you figure out how to go about doing the traffic. It could be just good old fashioned cold calling. It's just time that you put in, right? Or letterbox drop or flyers and all that sort of stuff. Whatever it takes to generate the traffic into a compelling funnel is the name of the game. Yeah,
the good old funnels.
Good old funnels. Good. Well, hope that's valuable for those of you who are watching. If you're really serious about building out some marketing, think about building a team. And building a team doesn't have to be expensive and complex. And but you need multiple source of expertise in place. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and energy trying to piece something together. Look, some people hit a jackpot. Like some people go, okay, I just ran this campaign. I'm killing it. Fantastic. Chances are you're not going to kill it forever, and you need something a little bit more sustainable. So
yeah. Marketing can be a humbling activity because things don't always go to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's the content for our week, and hope that's helpful.
Yeah, well, I've definitely learned again, it's all about traffic and conversions, and these people will help you get that traffic, and this person here will help you convert into a strategy that actually makes sense.
Absolutely. Cool. Well,
Cool.
before we go, we need to talk about our upcoming workshop again, coming up in less than, a month's time, just over a month's time.
Yep.
So we spots are already filling. So I think we've only got probably less than half left. So if you are interested to clarify your message and come up with a complete marketing plan within 2 days,
Just 2 days.
that's 2 days. That's the link that you want to go to and sign up. And in the coming weeks, we actually have something really, really exciting to announce as well. We are attempting to create a thriving marketing community that the world has never seen before. So
Never seen.
stay tuned, and it is going to be
Super pumped.
it's going to be a really, really amazing initiative. It may tank, but we're going to give it a shot.
We will.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever we do, it's going to be good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Cool.
Good seeing you, Ori. We'll catch you again next week.
You too, Alex. Looking forward to it. And everyone watching, hire a good team and join the workshop next month. Looking forward to see you there.